Welcome everyone. I am excited that you guys are tuning in and jumping on and listening. Let's go ahead and start. Today I want to talk about this idea of finding balance in a polarizing world. This is something that I was planning on writing a blog article on, started writing it down and thought I definitely want to talk about this a little bit. This is something that I just feel very passionate about. Is this idea of finding balance, because our worlds are extremely polarized. We're jumping from thing to thing, extreme to extreme, maximum to maximum. I feel like I talk to some people and they're like, hustle, grind, go, go. And other people are like, no, slow down, stop. Mental health. And I'm like, shouldn't there be a middle ground where we're able to work really hard and then we're also able to find this balance and still have that mental health time? So yeah, that's what I wanted to spend a little time talking about and encouraging you in. So there's so many books out there. There's so many articles out there. I always say it. So if you're finding, the need to find this balance, definitely take a look at them. One of the books I recommend is To Hell with Hustle. It's a good book. They talk about, how to kind of say no and kind of slow down. So if you definitely struggle in that camp, check that book out. I think balance is something that I believe is something that is core to humanity. If I work out all the time, every single day for, 4 or 5 hours a day, it's not healthy for me, right? I mean, it might be extremely healthy, but it's not really good for me. If I never work out, if I never do anything, that's not really healthy either. So shouldn't we be finding as humans a balance? It's the same with food. Not eating food consistently, not healthy. Overeating food, not healthy. I think we were designed to be people of balance, to take in and be able to balance our life. And I think that's something that's really important. Again, in this polarizing world, we're pulled to one extreme or pulled to another. And I think this balance can go outside of just the physical realm or just the mental health realm or just the working realm. And I think as we're building businesses, as we're designing apps, as we're writing blog posts, as we're doing these things, engaging with the community around us, I think we need to be people of balance. I think we need to, the people that we're leading, we need to show them, yes, we work hard, we show up, we put in the time, and when it's needed, we put in extra time. And then we also show that, hey, on this other side, we go home early, we spend time with our families, we value these other things as well, not just this one extreme or another. When we're looking, when my wife and I don't want to get political, but when my wife and I vote, we try very hard to vote for people and what their values are and what we're doing. And we're not trying to vote for parties. And I think it's really hard, because sometimes it's easy to vote for a party because you don't have to do any research. You don't have to actually figure anything out. You just say, okay, great. Yeah, they're in my party. I'm just going to vote for them. But what if people spent the time to actually find out the true intent of something? What if people actually spent the time researching whatever it is we're doing and finding that balance of, okay, great, this is something that I'm okay with swinging, from one side to another. And again, this isn't just politics, but I think this is so many areas of our life that we need to find and strike a balance in. And of course, a balance doesn't mean it's perfect. There are going to be seasons of extreme busyness. There are going to be seasons of fatigue and exhaustion and sickness and cars breaking down and regular life happening on top of everything else. But with that season, make sure that you're recognizing that and spending the time to also, okay, great, I broke my running routine. I'm going to get back into that. I haven't been able to spend quality time with my daughter. I'm going to get back into that. That is something I've had happen recently, actually, is we went through an extreme season of busyness. Maybe you read about it on my blog. I'm not sure if you're following me that closely. But just tonight, I was able to get away and spend, a couple hours playing Legos with my daughter. Something I haven't been able to do in the last week or so, just because I've been so busy. It's literally been from thing to thing, from holiday party to this to that to, oh, we need a sitter, or we're doing this or whatever, right? And so swinging back and finding that balance, right? It's healthy, it's normal to be on one side or the other. But when you are finding yourself in this rut, make sure you're able to identify that. Have that accountability person to call you out on it, to then kind of get back up out of that ditch on one side of the road and make your way back to the road. That kind of concludes my thoughts and my rants on this idea of balance. I know this podcast maybe not as long as where I'm normally used to, but it was definitely a topic I felt very passionate about discussing. So when you're looking at your life, when you're analyzing, where you're at, I would imagine you're going to find things that are in balance, because that's just the nature of life. And then let's use Bob Goff's quarter turn mentality of adjusting the heat. Okay, we've been in this camp for a long time. How can we dial back this area of my life? Maybe I'm working 70, 80 hours a week. How can I cut back, 10 hours and give it to my family? How can I cut that back? What can I do to do that? Maybe I haven't gone running in, a month or so. How can I add something back? Maybe I can find, maybe I'm okay with a short run, and items like that. Maybe I need to wake up sooner, right? We need to find that balance. And one thing I'm actually going to say on top of balance is a lot of balance is honestly saying no. There's sometimes we just pack ourselves so full and we just think, oh, we need to do that, or oh, I can do that, or oh, sign me up for that committee, or oh, add me to that job. We're always adding ourselves to that. But with that comes a cost. With that comes an overhead. If we're CPUs on a computer, that adds a percentage of overhead to our life. And when you start reaching that maximum threshold, there's nothing more that can fit. You're in this extreme overload status. Make sure you're saying no to things that are extra, the things that aren't needed. Find ways to thin down what you're doing. Balance is so key in how we live our life. And finding and striking that balance is going to be key in you building a consistent pattern and a healthy habit towards whatever you're beginning to begin. And so you need to find that balance of watching TV and actually getting up and doing something about your vision and your ideas that are floating around in your head. So strike that balance, give yourself grace, quarter turn heat, and keep striving to find that middle ground. And when you get in the rut on one side of that road or the other, because you will, just quarter turn and keep adjusting until you find that you're on that road more often than not. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's been real. Peace.